Apple's WWDC event happened this week and there was a lot to cover in the 2-hour-long version of the event. It wasn't full of big announcements, but there were a couple of cool ones that was definitely dropped. So let's do a gossip-sized summary of the event in MTT style, short and precise, but again packed. You might also need your juicy hamburger on the side. Come to think of it, you might not. Enough of the blah blah, let's get to it. So let's start with M2, the powerhouse of the new set of MacBooks Apple released. Now these MacBooks are the 13-inch MacBook Air and then 13-inch MacBook Pro, the usual go-to MacBooks. Now M2 is simply a replacement to the M1 which was released 2 years ago. Performance changes are 18% improved CPU performance and a 35% GPU performance as compared to the M1. Now note that these are not replacements to the M1 Pro and the M1 Ultra in the 14 and 16-inch MacBooks that was released last year, as those are more powerful systems. Other new additions to the MacBooks are a 500 nits liquid display with an iPhone notch style infused with a new 1080 camera. A new speaker that supports spatial audio as well is here. There is also MagSafe charging here, and when you purchase the more expensive model, you get a handy dual 35-watt charger or a 55-watt fast charger. To also add, the new MacBook Air has a new design with a more uniform body that is built just like the MacBook Pros. Now to softwares, and macOS Ventura is the new face of the macOS system now. There were a lot of minute changes, but features that stood out are that of Stage Manager, which is a window manager which groups opened windows and stack them on the far left, putting your most current window on focus as the main item on stage, pun intended. So our gears to iPadOS, which would also include Stage Manager and also gets a better connection to your Pro display if you have one. Now thanks to a proper scaling improvement in the new iPadOS system. Also, desktop class apps are coming to the iPad, which is basically going to allow apps that run on iPad to have a full function and a user-friendly mode just like their desktop versions. Other new features is a classroom-like feature just like Google Whiteboard, which allows collaborative work from team members virtually. Now let's talk about iOS 16 as it received some major new features. You can now customize your lock screen with widgets and tinker with the clock as well. Plus there are customizable wallpaper effects. Now this is definitely one step closer to Apple allowing your phone to be your phone, if you ask me. Live activities will hopefully solve the weird notification gathering on iPhones. Plus your notifications now will start coming from the bottom. Now let's talk about iMessage. Now iMessages that are sent can now be edited, and also you can undo a sent message as well. Apple Wallet received improvement as well, as your virtual keys can now be shared with various platforms, and there is even support to share on phones that are not iPhones as well. Tap to pay on Apple Pay is a new major feature where you can tap to pay for items with no need for an intermediate device. Pay Later is a new feature as well, which spreads your payments into 4 equal payment plans over 6 weeks with 0 interest and no fees. Passkeys would allow you to use your iPhone as a secured lock on websites and various platforms that will support newer platforms as time goes on. Then a new feature which Apple introduced is the ability to use your iPhone as a webcam. I know it's nothing, but the magic feature here is a wireless connection which also allows a multicam support. This basically will allow you to use your main camera as your main camera for multicam webcam, then your wide angle as your desktop cam. The next gen of Carplay basically will take over the entire vehicle, including the vehicle's instrument cluster, the climate control, the passenger display, basically everything. Definitely this will be for cars that are supported. Safety checks will help during abusive cases by logging out of anything or any connected device that the victim is connected to. Then there was a new easier child account management for parents to add their kids and also be able to manage and use the devices as well. Then there were other many changes. I'll simply put them on the screen. Feel free to pause and glance through them as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't whilst doing that. Well, that has been hopefully a short gossip-sized update on the WWDC event. What feature do you think is quite interesting enough? What again do you think could have been added? What again do you think Apple themselves could have added in this event? Feel free to comment them down in the comment section so we could all have a discussion there. Without wasting much time, that has been Melon for MTT signing out.